Right, so in the RX5 MC time here, we've got a RX5 MC chassis. We started to build this. It's going to be a factory car. Going to show this as a demo car. What we've done here, instead of our standard Ford like you saw on the Classic a second ago, this is all running MX5. So we've got MX5 uprights. Well, we're running wheelwood brakes, but we run the Escort rack. It's all running gear MX5, so it'll be diff in there. We've removed that because we're doing some mods to it. We had it in earlier in the week. We moved it to do some bracing on it, uprights, etc. All of that will run the MX5 running gear. Put in the standard billet pedal box in here that we run. Mazda column with our paddle shift here that will go down to the R1 engine. Oh, that's locked off. That will mount up into here, and the pedal shift will work from there. That's an R1 5VY engine in there. Probably circa 180 horsepower. Kind of 38mm cage that we got on this, and we anticipate, well, goal is to get under 450 kilos. Very confident we'll do that. This is an RR chassis as well, so it's fully rose jointed, all on the sides and everywhere, right the way through. MX5 handbrake, and then we're done. Prop shaft conversion we have here for electric reverse on the Mazda as well. So we've done the full conversion on it as well. So if you're looking to do, works out a little bit cheaper than doing the Ford one, the Mazda, because obviously the donor parts are considerably cheaper. And then on the back here we do the option with the cage, as I said, and then if you want to change to a roll bar, which is the bracing we already put in again for you, and we've done a small lightweight tank on this because we want to keep the weight down on this car, and as I say, we want to get sub 450 kilos, which is well achievable. But yeah, make it a nice, light, nimble car. So we're cracking on with that, and you'll see that progress as well over the coming weeks. It will go off the radar for a little while we're doing wiring, because that's the boring part. But yeah, you'll see it come alive, and we'll see, well, tempt you on the colour, see what comes up. Right, so Indy R1 again. This is the RX5 version, the Mazda version. So Indy Classic 5EY versus the newer, updated version of the round tube, Mazda based. Same engine though, 5EY engine, so it's the latest version here. We've got the radiators now fitted, it's 42mm. We've got the oil cooler just to go on the front, which goes on our standard mounting kit there. Front brakes you see is all on. That's that. So if you've got Mazda guys, and if you haven't got a, so we do full brake upgrade kit for this. So we use a standard Mazda vented front disc, but then we make all these adapters, machined up, etc., to make the wheelwood caliper. So if you've got another brand car, I don't know, Westfield, M&R or whatever, you're looking to upgrade your brakes from your standard ones rather than going aftermarket in other ways, then but this is only for the smaller brake kit there. I know there's plenty of kits out there for the big brake kit, but if you want to run a standard, which is these more than ample for these cars, then we do all this bracket and wheelwood brake book kit. So that's all fitted there. We're going with solid discs on this, it's only an R1 engine in that sense, so we don't need much more than that, but you can do cross-drilled and grooved and those vented as well, so we do that as well. So we cracked on with that, we fitted that. We've also got the rears on their standard disc as well, and also we fitted the diff in now as well this week. That's just got with the last bolting bits to do on that. That's a 3:6 ratio, so it's a Mazda 3:6 ratio with the R1, gives you about 120, mid 120s mile an hour wise, depending on what tyre and aspect ratio. We're only going to be running 185s probably on this, 13-inch wheels with 60 profile tyres. So it should give us just about 120, 122-ish mile an hour. Car's going to come in some 450, 460 kilos. So it'll be a nice little, nice little fast car, quite rapid. But yeah, that's the Mazda versus where you would have had in the back of here. Cameraman will zoom in. This would be like your Ford setup, which is the old classic one. You spin round, and that's the Ford setup that would have been in there. And that's again, you can see that's a 3:6 it's written on there actually, 3:6 written on there. That's basically the best ratio really for that engine. You can go taller, but it just kills the engine's performance if you try and put a 338 in there. It just hasn't got enough torque in the engine to deliver that. So you want to keep the high RPM, because these are what, 13,750 or something RPMs they spit out to, so pretty nice. Yeah, and this has got the same, which we show, which is Max has got on his, the same. So with the Bluetooth for the indicators, high beam, horn, etc. We've got there's the little Bluetooth mechanism on the back. B&G quick release boss on it as well, with a paddle shift. So basically you've got everything in one go here. We've got all the paddles, changing gear, indicators, horn, all nicely neat and tidy in one little package on the steering wheel for you. Which, you know, if you feel comfortable in the car and it's all at your hand and fingertips, you go fast automatically anyway. It's 10% more power, that is, definitely, 100%. So, yeah, silicone hose kit's done now. We'll show you that well, hopefully it should be next week, but in the next week we'll show you that all mocked up for the silicone hose kits for the R1, all being plumbed in, etc. And we'll get you the hoses, and there'll be kits that you can then just buy off the shelf, ready available, and it fits, you know, the right lengths and things like that. So, yeah, they'll be showing. Blue, I think we're going blue on this one for whatever reason we are. So we'll show you that once it's dialed in, and then the clutch cable actually while we're there. But we have a clutch mechanism because these are cable rather than hydraulic. So all the Mazdas S2000 run hydraulic clutches, boosters run hydraulic clutch, and then it's an adapter that converts that basically that motion that you get from the hydraulic pedal into a pendulum, which then basically pulls the cable. So a little mechanism, nice and easy to fit into there, and we'll get that mechanism dialed in over the next week as well.
So we've been on with this. There will be a template here. You can see this. So the first thing you see is exhaust manifold is on. It's our standard system that we do. I'll talk through some exhaust in a minute. And this is a template that's going to be drawn up, and that will be in the manual for everybody now, which will get drawn up as a diagram. You're going to drill basically 4 holes of a specific size, like 86 mils and 56 mils. Join the dot to dots, nice and easy. And that'll be in the manual once we give you that from a reference point. So we'll cut that panel in as per there. We've done a mock-up on a card template here, just to show you so you can keep it neat and tidy, and everybody will be the same then for when you're doing the R1 engine. So we've been on with that. We're fitting that custom air box on there as well. We're done with wiring. We've partnered with OBP as well. These are going to be the coolant tanks. I've got quite a few of these on the shelves, guys. It is a nice bit of kit. I mean, I can't knock them. The welding, look, don't think you can zoom on that. Pretty good, very good. I mean, it's a nice bit of kit for the money. We've got about a dozen of them, I think, on the shelf now. And that'll be, if you're not going to do the plastic thing and you want the alley ones, that'll be with the caps. That's a 20 PSI cap we use as well on that. So they'll be in a bolt in this position here for position of choice. So they'll be available. So we've been on with that. Some of the plumbing, oil cooler has gone in, and the bracket kits she showed you last week having mounted, and we've painted that black in the end as well to match it in. But that's a 19mm oil cooler, all mounted up with our kits that we do, and a few other little bits and bobs that we've been doing, just wiring and fixings and things like that on the rear end as well. So we've actually decided, we had a cage on this, we're going to put a roll bar on. So this cage will come off. We've decided, because as you know, we do all the fixings in here for the roll bar. So we can swap an interchanger, but we are going to go with a roll bar on this one. We're going to keep the weight very light, hopefully, on this car. We'll come up with a number. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty light. So that's what we'll be doing on the R1MC. Right, MC time. R1MC, as you can see, the biggest change. So there's a big change on this one this week. Obviously, side panels on. We spoke about it last week, so we've been cutting all the holes for the side panels on this one, and all for the exhaust system. This dimensions will we hopefully, because the manual is very much a live document, so we will put those dimensions in to cut this nice hole. It's all been rubber trimmed off, etc. for the R1 system. They will connect up to the silencer here as a final bracket to do. But you know, the orange, I think, wow, orange, yellow, we said last week, they're great colours, really strong colours, really suit this type of 7 style car anyway. So that's what we've been on, cutting a few bits of the panels, some bonding onto the side panels interior wise and things like that we've been tinkering with as well. The push rods are up here for a reason until we obviously sort out fitting the panels for the final time, a bit like Richard's car over there as well. So we're cracking on with that, and then we'll get that bolted together and bonded the same as on that one. We do a lot of the dry fitting first while we're cracking on with the cars. The rear end's pretty much buttoned down, as we said last week, with all the calipers in there as well. We started on with some of the hoses and etc. What should we do? The lights are already wired in, these already, so they're on plugs all ready to shoot and go once we drill them into the wheel arches. So they're already done, front and rears, fogs, everything, they're already done, just once we've finished the body panels to trim them in. So cool, that's where we've been up to on the MC anyway. Right, R1 MC time. Again, Mazda based, so if you get an old Mazda, you can turn it into a bike engine one, even better. Maybe it's a bit different. So we've been on with this as well. Side panels, again, bonded on this one, on both sides. We've done this week, finished all the final trim and fit of those, they've gone in. Seats are in, they've been bonded. As we say, guys, top tip maybe, it's so much easier to fit your seats before you fit the side panels. It's just drilling the holes out, really. That's the main reason. You get into the side and etc. So we've put them in. You can take them out now afterwards. You can play around with the rest of the interior. So we've done those. This one's been solid mounted. That's on a runner. Then we've been on again with electrics. Things like we've been plugging in, like the exhaust servo eliminators, which is this. So got a servo based on that. We've been plugging those bits of kits in, etc. Airbox. This was a custom airbox though. This is not standard, guys. It's not something we make. It's a custom airbox we had that was made quite a while ago actually for this engine. So a standard airbox for the R1 will work, but this is a custom one that was been made. Quite a bit of work gone into that. Coolant hoses, top and bottom are in. All the fill lines are in. All the metal pipes and T-works in there as well. And then we're just going to be finishing on with a little bit tying up the wiring. Our sprocket adapter that had to go on, that's gone on as well. We'll finish off now the exhaust and all of that system can now start to get bolted on as well. So it's little niggly bits, but all the trimming, this has all been done for OEVA, all the trimming around the panels, etc. as well. Right, MC time, RX5 MC, so it's the R1, as you know. Been on with this as well. As you can see, this has changed as well. Scuttles have been fitted, so we said last week, side panels, rear tubs bonded on, and final fits done on that. And then been onto the dashboard. So that's been cut in with the steering wheel here. We've got a bit of rubber protection here. That's been cut in as well with the steering column. And then we go running the standard clocks on this. Think final position, we haven't decided on where it's going to go centre. Well, up top here, we're trying to get me up the top here. As long as we can get visibility, that's fine. For IVA, you can see the speedo and everything else, but it'll either be in this position or dead centre. And then we've got all the switches. Everything's all wired on this car already. So we've got all the switches in place, ready to rock and roll. The ignition, everything else has been sort of dry fitted. These are all the black switches that will be going in, whether it be side lights, hazards, etc. They're already pre-done, so it's just a question of drilling the holes. That's all done under here as well. So we've been fitting that. As you know, the seats were trial fitted. Try and do them earlier, chaps, if you can. So, and then we'll be on with, again with that, the yellow car, get the wheels and that on it, trim them off, get the arches fitted on the front as well. So everything else is done up. Headlights have gone on this week as well. We've got to do the final fitment on them, but they're in. And then the wiring's just got to be the final plug into the front indicators and wiring here to be done. So yeah, that's tied in on quite nicely now. We're sort of fitting between the cars and getting them done as well. A few little touches done. We spoke about the headlights last week. Obviously we've got the standard R1 5EY engine in here with this airbox. This is a custom one we made at some point, so it's not an off-the-shelf product, unfortunately, chaps. Probably could make another one, but it's quite labour intensive to make them. But you know, we've had a customer inquiry this week, so we've got to come back to see if we can look into manufacturing those. So scuttle, bulkhead and all of that's all fitted, dry fitted, and then we bolted on this week. They'll be ready to polished up, but we've bolted on the carbon rear wings. So these are pre-peg carbon, very lightweight. You can hear sound like aluminium, very strong. So we've done a mock-up on those. We're aiming to keep this car, say, extremely light. That's gone in. The black fuel cap's gone in as well. So we've got the black fuel cap, and that's all plumbed up to the fuel tank as well. That's all gone in. Nice little touch. And then we'll be on with the hoses. Again, handbrake cables have gone in. We'll start to cut these lights. Will go in there. They're all wired up. We've just got to start cutting them in over the next sort of few days as well. In the lead up to Christmas. And again, this will be another one that we'll finish off in the new year. But so yeah, we've been cracking on. We've put the extra super light wheels on this, the space savers. I don't really going to give us much grip. That's just to roll it around in the workshop. If you're wondering why we got those daft clown wheels on there, but really the main end has been on the back. A couple of weeks ago you saw we fitted the carbon fibre rear arches, but what we've been on with during the course of this week is a few cap went in a week ago, but the LED light packs. So we've got the lights gone in here, and we've cut the holes for these, and our all-in-one LED indicator side light, tail light lights. They're really lightweight. We're trying to make this car super light. The boot cover's gone on. This is the carbon effect, really, I suppose, of vinyl. And also we've got the carbon stripe gone on the back here. We had to fit that first now because obviously we're fitting in the number plate light as well. So we've been doing that. All the poppers are on. These are available for roll cages or for boot covers, and these are lightweight lights, LED light pack that we're fitting a standard. Thinking well, we're trying to make this as light as possible really, this car, and I'll show you perhaps next week, but myself and Joseph can quite comfortably, and it's got most of the components on it now, apart from the exhaust and a few bits of bobs, can pick this up on the front end on our own. I know four of us can just pick this car straight up. Might even put that on video. But yeah, it's looking nice, really tidy. Back end, which we'll do there. It's standard nowadays that we fit the boot covers on the cars, nice and neat, black vinyl or the carbon vinyl, and with the little LED light pack and the black anodised fuel cap starting to tie in nicely. And then dashboard is in with just the column. We've just got to mount the standard clocks on there as well. So okay, so we're over at the R1 RX5 MC, so the motorcycle engine derived Mazda based car that we do. So we stuck it on the scales. We've done the engines over there and we thought, okay, well, we know what the boosters come out at. Generally 520 kilos they roll in out. So I'm kind of looking at about, it's just under the 400 brake horsepower per tonne. If you do the calcs, and it's about 394, 395, I do believe, brake horsepower per tonne. So we stuck this on the scales. Now we haven't put it all together completely, but we put the nose cone on, we put the bonnet on, we've got the front carbon wings, got the headlights on, the front wheels on, the rear wheels on, and in the cabin here we've put the exhaust, the silencer, the harnesses, the header tank, the wing stays, the pipe work, the paddle shift, the steering wheel, everything's sort of in the car. There's a few bits to go in, tiny things, even the gauges are in here. Put it all in there, and we've just got fluids to add, really. And the wheels and tyres will change from these because we're going to a smaller CXR, 6-inch all round with 185s rather than the 205. So there's a little bit here of adjustment to do in terms of some fluids in there, which is oil and water basically. That is it. And she comes in at 442 kilos. We're pretty happy with that. We're trying to get around the 440 kilos. I think by the time we've done fluids, she's going to touch 450. Just about 450, I think, once we've put the water and oil. Because all the bulkheads in under here, everything's all in there, the wiring, the whole shebang. That's including, guys, electric reverse motor in there as well. All the cabling in, all the switches, etc. So that's all in as well. So wing mirrors, that's sort of IVA spec. All the trim on the seats, which weighs weight. So kind of rolling in at 450. Now that works out in my mind about 180 horsepower, about just over the 404 brake horsepower per tonne, if I remember rightly, and it's about 177 foot-pounds of torque per tonne. And what was the booster? Was it 217, wasn't it? 217 foot-pounds of torque per tonne. So it's got a little bit more torque, but we know that it's the extra cc's. But I think they're going to be close. Being that's so light, I think that's going to be close. I think it'll be, same driver in the same car. I think they're going to be very competitive. Doing it in two different ways. Bit more grunt, bit more horsepower, bit more torque versus somewhere in the region of 70 kilos lighter in terms of the vehicle here. So overall weight wise. So that gives you an indication, but obviously the big difference here is that power plant there is about £2,000, whereas a booster, by the time you dry sump and do everything else, you're knocking on the thick end of realistically 5.5, 6 grand. So bang for buck, that's a pretty good place to be with the MC, being the Mazda based kit. The budget wise is much, much cheaper. We have managed to, in the cold weather, stick on the side stripes, the carbon side stripes, carbon effect, shall we say. Not real carbon, wish they were. But yeah, they're all in, and we've had to do that. And on this side, main reason is because the exhaust system is going to go on next. That's the next job. It's all been mocked up, it's fine, but before we bolt it on, of course, it's much easier to fit the stripes now than afterwards once the exhaust system is on. So they've gone on. Looks great, I think, with the carbon, which we've done the rear stripe the other week as well. Looking really clean and killer. R1MC, a few little bits on this one this week. Not too much what we've done, but we've been busy with other stuff. But we've been on with the dashboard, which is, it's the 5VY engine. So we've got the standard bike clocks, so that fits above steering column, so it's got a nice visual for you. Ignition, which will be in here for start as well. we've got our new black switches in here. Really nice. They've got a nice feel to these as well. Very, you can probably hear the sound even clicking on those. Very nice detail to them. This is for the reverse system, which will be power on and that'll be reverse. And then we've got the standard ones in here for lights, side lights, fog lights, brake warning light. And then our branded MK gauges in here for oil temperature and oil pressure as well. The rest of it will be done on here, which is standard bike clocks, which will have your we haven't put in a bothered gear indicator on this. We're just going to have the speedo, the rev counter and on all those little bits in there as well. So that's tidily done. So that'll be fitted in, and we'll just put that back down. And we've also set in the tunnel top here, the one-piece tunnel top, because there's no gear levers, it's all on the paddles. It's just going to pop over the handbrake. That's been cut and trimmed, ready to just pop down and be bonded in or riveted in, etc., so you can still have access on it as well. So a couple of little bits done on that, but if you like them switches, we normally got them in stock. We've actually waiting for another supplier to come in, but we have got quite a few of them in stock. But they are quite nice, got really nice feel to them, and they come with a little plug you can on the back, not like the other aluminium ones. You get a nice black plug that plugs on the back, so it makes it nice and neat and tidy. But we've been fettling with the interior. Dashboard we showed you last week, so that's sort of cutting in, and that's its face, which we think looks like a frog or something. It's two eyes. Few bits and bobs, a bit crazy, but yeah, the instruments in, pedal, and then the one-piece tunnel top GRP, that's in. So it's a nice super clean interior, quite minimalist, which is what we like. Black buttons, black gauges, sync with instruments that you can see through here, and all the push buttons on here. Super lightweight seats. I mean, these are I think that was under 4 kilos, weren't they, Joseph? Crazy. Super light seats, so keep the weight down on this. And you know, it came in at 442, sort of loaded up. So that's rocking and rolling. A few little bits, and we're ticking along quite nicely with this as we're fitting in between other jobs as well. But again, progress, dashboard, MK branded gauges, new switch, GRP, one-piece tunnel tops all gone in. So super happy with that. But what we've got is some new products. Let's get into it, guys. Right, tyres, boots on your car. Look at these bad boys. So now, as you know before, Toyo stockists, we run the RAAARs. GG compounds. As standard, we'd offer them as a range, but now, if you want to, we can go into the Nankang range as well. We've now got Nankang AR1s, lovely TED pattern on these. We're going to check them out. Hopefully, I think they're meant to deliver a really good track day tyre. We do the NS2R as an option as well, which we don't have here today, but we can get that for you in the 13s and the 15-inch sizes. So if you want to get hooked up on Toyos or you want to get hooked up on Nankang tyres for your car, give us a telephone call, Facebook message, email, etc. And they will be on our website anyway to just buy it online 24/7. But also these line the beautiful Compomotive CXRs. Hasn't got the centre cap on this one. We've got it on the other side. Go on the other side. Let's go on the other side. Look, centre cap. There we go. Got the centre cap on the wheel on this one. So the Compomotive CXRs, super 6-inch wheel, super light wheel. We stock these for the Mazdas now in a 4x100 offset, but what we do on these on the front for clearances on the calipers, if you're running the wheelwoods and that, we do have to put a small wheel spacer in the back there. It's okay on the rears, slight modification required, but on the rears, but they're 6, and they're perfect for the lightweight, like the R1 car here. If you're running a 185 60 profile tyre, spot on for that, spot on. So yeah, what else have we got? Oh, it's like a candy shop. These, oh, work of art, work of art. Now, you know when you do the booster, and we do the dry sump systems. We've also now had these manufactured. We make them for ourselves. We don't buy them ourselves, etc. This is a dry sump tank, which can be used on a booster engine, etc. Running a dash 12 outlets on here. We also change this to an M12 by 1.25 for if you're running a sensor. But these are slightly smaller. Standard tanks that are on the marketplace, 508mm high. We come in a slightly different tank design that's baffled slightly in different here, and it fits perfectly then into the engine bay at the front section. So if you're running dry sump tanks, where we normally position them here, and we shorten the footwell, now we can run this under the scuttle. It's basically 450mm in total, roughly, as a height of the tank, fits under. We then have 2 outlets on the top, rather than most manufacturers who run the single outlet. These are both 1/2-inch BSBs, so you can run a banjo fitting out to, well, return from the engine and one to your catch tank. So really nice product. They should be on the websites now. It's all splittable here, and you can self-clean it drain the tanks, do what you want with them. 5-inch tank, really nice bit of kit, really exceptionally well made. Just something new to bring to the market rather than the standard off-the-shelf stuff from other suppliers out there that you're kind of trying to make fit your car. Well, this is designed to work with the car and be fitted naturally. Right, standing over the orange, very orange RX5 MC, the R1 engine in. What we're doing with that at the moment? Well, we're fitting on the nose cone and the bonnet. That's all going to be going on. So nose cone has been temporarily fitted at the moment so that we can then line up and do all the bonnet catches. We'll put that on just to give you an idea. We've trimmed all the bonnet now to fit all that on as well. But what we have done on this, you may know we do the MK grills. What we've done on this, we've got the new product now, which we're looking at doing, is the honeycomb grill, which I gotta say looks pretty darn cool actually. So we've got this grill, which is the honeycomb version, which just gets riveted in here. We've got 4 little saddle bushes that mount up behind it here. We'll have this product available over the next sort of, I don't know, I'm going to say 48 hours. Hopefully it'll be on the website as well. Or we do the standard grill, which has got this one, which is the MK logo one. So this sits on the front of it, and that sits recessed back. So you do see a bit more depth in the nose cone on that. Personal favourite, I'm kind of steering towards the honeycomb now. I shouldn't have a favourite, should I? But I like them both, but it's because it's new, I suppose. You sort of think, oh, that's different. But I think aerodynamically and efficiently for cooling and ducting, it's going to be a better product as well, overall. But, you know, standard grills available in stainless, and then you can powder coat them, or you can go the honeycomb grill as well. So it's a new product. So yeah, we're on with getting all the shut lines right, lined up for the nose cone grill. There's a little bit to button up in this car. So Joseph's jumped onto this while we can, started on all the wiring under here, tidying it, trying to get it all up, and the oil temperature sensors in, oil pressure sensors in, and a few other bits, getting ready for all the emissions control for the IVA, which we put on here, the pair valve system, which will plumb up, etc. as well, get them ready. So they're, that's all being tied in really to get this. It's all running. We've just got to make sure we go through it and check all the systems as well, but we didn't have oil pressure and oil temperature gauges all plumbed up. So that's the next job on this. So we're going to do this bit by bit over the next couple of weeks. Obviously, we'll be changing from the lightweight wheels to some nice CXRs on this as well to run it up a bit nicer. But yeah, started with the coolant plumbing piping as well. That's got to come in. Then we've just got to run one up to the header tank as well. Last final bits really to be done as well. Most of it's done. Just finding the time when you've got plenty of bills on.
Back over at the Indy RX5 RR with a Yamaha R1 engine in it, lots of R's in that. We've finally found a bit of time this week to finish off and move forward with this project that seems to have slowed down a little bit, had the handbrake pulled on it. We fitted the paddle shift system. So we've got the cow horn system. Hopefully we should now be able to change gear. So it's another thing ticked off the list. Watch this space, because I don't think we're a million miles away now with this car.
Right, so we're over here at the demo car, the R1, well, RX5 MC, Mazda based, with a 5EY engine in it. Some progress on this. We've done the header tank, battery fitted in, electrics all done. The new CXR wheels, so Mazda based, 4x100 CXRs on some nice R888 boots. We're buttoning it up as well, getting this ready for, well, IVA really, starting to do all the little details, do all the geos next, and then start road testing it like the blue car as well. And well, we'll give it a little fire, shall we? See if she goes. In neutral. There we go. So she's all running. Good oil pressure, which is good. So yeah, all tickety-boo really, starting to run. So it's, we'll start to get that done. A paddle shift will go in last, but we've done a sort of black pack on all of this, sort of black and orange theme really. These are normally obviously polished aluminium, but we thought we'd black them out. I mean, it looks a bit nice. And then we've got a flat shifter system to put into this as well, this little solenoid which will fit in there for upshift. It's a little sensor there that goes in. That'll be one of the things. So yeah, we'll start buttoning out. All the bodywork has been dry fitted on this car, so that all nose cone bonnet goes on pretty quick. All the back end's done. So Joseph's just on really now with, well, tightening anything up really now, I suppose. So it's looking super, super dude. Good. Yamaha R1, here we go. And we can't wait for, maybe next week we'll have the final weights. We're doing a Geo on Friday, aren't we? Friday, hopefully, Geo day. and we get the final weight on this car, which we know is going to be light. So looking forward to that. That'll be on next week's video. Right guys, we're standing here in the workshop and we have two Mazda based cars. The familiar one that you are all familiar with is the RX5 Turbo, Mazda based car, Mazda MX-5 engine in there. Now we've developed, and you've seen the build progress, maybe over the last year of this we've done quite a bit of development work on it, and this is now the RX5 MC, so it's motorcycle based, but it's all Mazda running gear. So if you was not looking to do the Ford, which we traditionally do, Ford Cortina or Ford Sierra based information on it, then this has Mazda front uprights, Mazda differential, Mazda drive shafts, Mazda rear uprights. We use the Mazda handbrake system, etc. on this car, the steering link bar as well. So quite a bit from the donor vehicle. We use on this one, it's got a particular one, it's got an R1 a 5EY MC engine in here. Kicks out about 185 horsepower once they're tuned in, dialed in with a power command of 5. We then run a 3.62 ratio Mazda diff. This gives it a theoretical top speed with the wheel and tyre combination we've got on here of about 124 miles an hour, which is bang on, we think, for this particular engine. You can overgear them. This is where it needs to be, good acceleration. So we got this on the scales, it's been geoed. We are in full IVA spec, so this is everything on it that we have at the moment to get it through, whether it be indicators and electric reverse motors and sprockets on there for it all as well, and it came out just about 460 kilos. So it's pretty light, in fact, very light, considering it's, you know, in comparison to the RX5 Turbo, which is nearly 600 kilos, you know, we've got 140 kilos of weight difference there. So yeah, nice spec car, carbon rear arches, carbon front arches. This is going to be our demo car for our bike engine version. So do you know what? Best way of doing about it? Let's get it out on the road. Good start, isn't it? Take two. Try that again, shall we? Right guys, welcome to the RX5 MC. Mazda based car. All running, bike engine, Yamaha R1 5EY. Sequential 6-speed gearbox, as standard, of course, straight out of the bike. We have a paddle shift arrangement on this one, which is pretty cool because it's down on the left, up on the right on the cow horn paddle shift, really easy to use. And we've just finished it. This is literally its maiden voyage out. So we're going to give it a little bit of a shakedown, get it ready and prepped to get it all registered. We're on trade plates today, which is fine. Give it a little test. We've done the geos. What's the weights on this? 460 kilos, which we spoke about earlier. So 185 horsepower, roughly. Equates to about 400 brake horsepower per tonne, which is basically the same as a booster. They're a little bit heavier, got more power, but a little bit more torque. So they get there in a different way. Now, initial first impressions, steering, super light. I mean, bonkers light. And direct, very easy to manoeuvre around. Gear shift, very smooth. And on this car, very unique, we have the blink stop on the steering wheel. So we've got the buttons for the indicators for off and on, and it automatically turns them off for you. We've also got the high beam and the horn. There she is. All on there. We've got the Digidash set up from the clocks here off the R1, which is great. In the middle, a big fat rev counter, and then a digital speeder, which I think actually works really well because you get the best of both worlds. I like an analog rev counter. You can see it a bit more direct. So we're starting to warm her up, getting up to temperature, not quite there yet, but we'll let her get through the gears. It's nice, oil's coming up, temperature's coming up, indicators on the thing. Now the only downside is we're a bike engine, and this is noise. it is all working. We have got more than second gear because these things rev to the moon. 14,000. Check that. 14,000 RPM. Not like a Mazda Turbo when it all runs out of puff at 7,000. No, 14,000. That's nuts. You can let this thing, you think it's run out of power and revs, and then you do this. Start picking it up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's only bringing it up to 8,000. I've still got 6 more to go. How nuts is that? This thing, it feels so light and nimble at 460. You can feel that weight difference when you're driving this to the booster, especially on the front end. Steering is super light, just so direct. We turn it into around about, the tyres are brand new, never turned the wheel, but still plenty of grip. Turned in, I mean, it's so sharp on the nose. Holy smokes, that's sharp on the nose. Really cool. You can power it out of the corner. Brakes are brand new, never touched the pedal, but actually, a bit of bite in there. It's all about that sequential gearbox though. Through the gears, all in the, well, at my fingertips. Let's be honest, it is literally at my fingertips, which is, well, again, I said this before with the Gix 1000, if you're driving a car and it's comfortable and easy to drive, you can drive it quickly. So what's the first impressions? It's light, you can feel that weight, and you can feel how light. Steering controls, awesome, all at my fingertips, love that, as I've said. Paddle shift, awesome, through the 6 gears. I've only got up to 8,000 RPM, that's not really delivering it. You can't do it on the road. On the track is where it wants to rev these bike engines on the track. It's where you want to be with it. I can't really give it what it needs to be in this environment. I'd love to shake it down on the track, and I think that's where we have to head with this one. It's already sump. The R1 engine's very good for it. You don't need to do sump modifications on them. Just a baffle plate in there. We have fitted an oil cooler as precaution on this as well. And it's got a decent size 42mm aluminium radiator on this as well. So, and we've got wheelwoods on the front, wheelwoods out. It's got the electric reverse system in there because we're getting it for IVA spec, and a few carbon touches. But this is something you can build in your garage at home to this same spec, and it ain't a fortune. And it's a ridiculously fast car for not a lot of money. 10 out of 10. Sorry guys, I'm not being biased to myself, but it is. It's just the RX5 MC ticks the boxes every day.